They told her she was broken, defective, a genetic mistake that should have been culled at birth. The Crescent Moon Pack rejected Luna Graves when she was 16 years old, branding her with the mark of exile and throwing her out into the winter snow, with nothing but the clothes on her back and the echo of their laughter ringing in her ears. That was 8 years ago. Now, 7 of Alpha King Dominic Ashford's most elite royal guards are lying in refrigerated drawers at the Seattle morgue, their bodies so brutally destroyed that the coroner needed dental records to identify them. The 8th guard is in critical condition, sedated and strapped to a hospital bed, screaming about the ghost with golden eyes every time he regains consciousness. And Dominic Ashford, the Alpha King of the North American Coalition, the man who united 12 warring packs through sheer dominance and strategic brilliance, is standing in the ruins of what used to be a luxury penthouse apartment, staring at a bloody handprint on the wall. The handprint is small, delicate, female. His head of security, Marcus, approaches cautiously. "Sir, forensics confirms it. The blood belongs to Luna Graves. She was here. She killed them all." Dominic doesn't take his eyes off the handprint. His wolf is screaming inside his mind, a primal howl of recognition that makes no sense. "Find her," Dominic says, his voice deadly calm. "I don't care if you have to turn this entire city upside down. Find the Omega who did this, and bring her to me." "Dead or alive, sir?" Dominic finally looks at Marcus. His eyes have shifted to that terrifying amber gold that signals his wolf is close to the surface. "Alive," he says. "I want to look her in the eyes when I ask her how she did it. And then—" He pauses, a slow, predatory smile crossing his face. "Then I'm going to make her mine." This is the story of Luna Graves, the Omega who was too weak to keep, the woman who became a weapon, and the Alpha King who wants to know why his wolf has already chosen her as his mate. Hey, real quick before we continue. My mom literally told me that no one would subscribe to this channel because my stories aren't good enough. She said I'm wasting my time and that you guys wouldn't care about a reject Omega's story. If you're actually enjoying this, if you want to see Luna make the Alpha King bend the knee, if you want to prove my mom wrong, hit that subscribe button right now. Show her that good storytelling matters. Show her that you want part 2 of this saga. Okay, back to the story. Let's watch Luna burn their world down. The rejection ceremony was held on the coldest night of the year. Luna stood in the center of the pack circle, her bare feet numb against the frozen ground, her breath forming clouds in the frigid air. She wore the traditional white shift of an unmated Omega, thin fabric that did nothing to protect her from the elements. Around her, 300 pack members formed a ring, their eyes glowing amber and gold in the darkness, reflecting the massive bonfire that roared behind her. At 16, Luna should have experienced her first shift. Every wolf in the pack shifted by 15 at the latest. It was biology. It was destiny. Luna had failed. Alpha Marcus Graves, her own father, stood before her in ceremonial robes, his face a mask of disgust and disappointment. "Luna Graves," he announced, his voice carrying across the silent crowd. "You have been given 16 years to prove your worth to this pack. 16 years to show the strength of Graves' blood. You have failed." Luna kept her head up, refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing her cry. She had cried enough in private, locked in her room, desperately trying to force the shift that never came. She had meditated, trained, starved herself, pushed her body to the breaking point. Nothing worked. "You carry no wolf," her father continued. "You emit no scent of power. You cannot shift, cannot hunt, cannot defend the pack. You are Omega by rank, but you are not even worthy of that title. You are simply broken." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Luna's younger sister, Sarah, stood at the front, her perfect face arranged in an expression of pity that didn't reach her cold blue eyes. Sarah had shifted at 13 into a beautiful silver wolf, strong and fast. Everything Luna was supposed to be. "By the ancient laws," Alpha Graves declared, "I hereby reject you as my daughter, as pack member, and as wolf. You are exiled from Crescent Moon territory. If you return, you will be killed on sight as a rogue threat. Do you accept this judgment?" The words stuck in Luna's throat. If she said no, they would kill her anyway. If she said yes, she would be alone. She had no choice. "I accept," Luna whispered. Her father nodded. "Then you have 1 hour to leave our territory. Strip her of the pack mark." 2 enforcers grabbed Luna's arms, forcing her to her knees. The pack's beta, a cruel woman named Helena, approached with a silver-bladed knife glowing red from the flames. "This will hurt," Helena said with a smile. The knife pressed against Luna's left shoulder blade, where her pack tattoo had been inked on her 13th birthday. A crescent moon cradled by mountains. The silver burned, eating through the ink, cauterizing the skin. Luna bit down on her lips so hard she tasted blood, refusing to scream. When Helena finally stepped back, Luna's shoulder was a mess of burned flesh and scar tissue. The pack mark was gone. 1 hour, her father repeated. "Run, little broken thing. Run and pray the rogues find you before the cold does." Luna stood on shaking legs. She looked around the circle, at faces she had known her entire life. Her grandmother wouldn't meet her eyes. Her childhood friends looked away. Only one person looked at her with anything other than contempt or indifference. Caden, the Alpha's heir, her ex-boyfriend, stood beside Sarah. His jaw was tight, his hands clenched into fists. For a moment, Luna thought he might say something, might defend her. Then Sarah linked her arm through his, pressing her perfect body against his side, and Caden's expression hardened. He had made his choice weeks ago, when he ended their relationship, telling Luna he needed a mate who could actually be a Luna, not a liability. Luna turned and walked away from the fire, away from her pack, away from everything she had ever known. She didn't run. She walked with her head high, her burned shoulder screaming in pain, her bare feet leaving bloody prints in the snow. When she reached the territory boundary, a line of white stones that glowed faintly with protective magic, she stopped. She looked back once at the distant glow of the bonfire. "I'm not broken," she whispered to the wind. "You just don't know what I am yet." Then she crossed the boundary and disappeared into the darkness. The coffee shop on Pike Street was called The Daily Grind, and it smelled like burnt espresso and broken dreams. Luna wiped down the counter for the 3rd time that hour, her movements mechanical, efficient. She wore her dark hair in a messy bun, oversized glasses perched on her nose, and a name tag that read Grace. She had been Grace for 6 months now. Before that, she was Emily in Portland, Sarah in Boise, and Maya in Denver. She changed identities like most people changed clothes, always moving, always one step ahead of the past that hunted her. At 24, Luna had learned 3 crucial skills: how to disappear, how to survive, and how to kill. The bell above the door chimed. Luna didn't look up immediately. She finished arranging the pastries in the display case, then turned with her customer service smile already in place. It died on her lips. 2 men had entered. They were both massive, easily 6'5", with the kind of build that came from genetics and violence, not a gym membership. They wore expensive suits that barely contained their bulk, and they moved with the predatory grace of apex predators. Enforcers. But not just any enforcers. Luna's nose, weak as it supposedly was, caught their scent. Alpine pine, gunpowder, and, beneath it, the distinctive musk of Royal Guard. The Alpha King's men. "We're closing early," Luna said, her voice steady. "Health inspection. You'll have to come back tomorrow." The first man, bald with a scar bisecting his left eyebrow, smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "We're not here for coffee, Grace. Or should I call you Luna?" Luna's hand drifted beneath the counter, fingers closing around the handle of a combat knife she kept taped under the register. "I don't know what you're talking about." The second man, blond with cold blue eyes, pulled out a tablet and set it on the counter. The screen showed a photograph, grainy, taken from a security camera, but unmistakably her. The image was from 2 weeks ago in Portland. She had been careless, stayed too long, thought uncomfortable. A low-level pack had tried to recruit her, and when she refused, they tried to force the issue. 3 of them ended up in the hospital. 1 didn't make it. "Luna Graves," the scarred man said, reading from the tablet. "Rejected Omega from the Crescent Moon Pack. Wanted in connection with 14 deaths across 7 states over the past 5 years. Suspected rogue assassin." 14? Luna raised an eyebrow. "Your intelligence is outdated. It's 17 now." And they weren't assassinations. They were self-defense. The blond man's hand moved toward his jacket. Luna moved faster. The knife was out and buried in the wooden counter between his reaching fingers before he could blink. He froze. "I wouldn't," Luna said softly. "The next one goes through your hand. The one after that goes through your throat. And before your partner can even shift, I'll have emptied the gun I know he's carrying into his chest. Silver bullets. I can smell them from here." The scarred man raised his hand slowly, a gesture of peace. "Easy. We're not here to fight. We're here to deliver a message." "I'm not interested in messages. The Alpha King wants to meet you." Luna laughed. It was a harsh, brittle sound. "Dominic Ashford wants to meet me? The man who runs the coalition like a corporate empire? The alpha of alphas? What could he possibly want with a broken Omega?" "You killed 7 of his royal guards," the blonde said, his voice tight with barely controlled rage. "You slaughtered them like they were trying to kill me first?" Luna interrupted. "Because that's what happened. Your friends tried to abduct me from my apartment. They broke down my door at 3 in the morning. No warrant, no explanation. Just guns and silver chains. So yes, I defended myself." The scarred man pulled out a phone and held it up. The screen showed a video call connecting. After 2 rings, a face appeared. Luna's breath caught. Dominic Ashford was younger than she expected, perhaps 30, with dark hair that fell across his forehead in artful disarray. His eyes were storm gray, intelligent and calculating. His jaw was sharp enough to cut glass, and even through a phone screen, the sheer presence of him was overwhelming. He looked at Luna, and something flickered across his face. Surprise, recognition, hunger. "Miss Graves," Dominic said, his voice a deep baritone that seemed to resonate in Luna's chest. "I apologize for my guards' behavior. They were operating under incorrect intelligence." "Incorrect intelligence that got 7 of them killed," Luna said flatly. "Yes," Dominic's eyes narrowed. "I'm curious how a lone Omega managed that. My royal guards are trained to handle alpha threats. They should have been able to subdue you easily." "Should have," Luna agreed. "But they made 3 critical mistakes. First, they assumed I was helpless because I'm Omega. Second, they came at me in a confined space where numbers meant nothing. And third," she smiled, cold and sharp, "they forgot that the most dangerous predators are the ones who've learned to hunt." Dominic leaned forward, his face filling the screen. "What are you, Luna Graves?" "I'm exactly what your system created," Luna said. "I'm what happens when you throw away a 16-year-old girl and expect her to die quietly." "I didn't throw you away. Your pack did. Your coalition enforces pack law. You could have stopped it." "You're right," Dominic said, surprising her. "The rejection laws are barbaric. I've been working to change them, but the old guard resists. Which is why I want to meet you, in person. So you can kill me yourself. So I can offer you a job." Luna blinked. That was the last thing she expected. Dominic continued. I need someone with your particular skill set. Someone who understands what it's like to be underestimated. Someone who can move through the wolf community without being recognized as a threat. My guards are powerful, but they're blunt instruments. You're a scalpel. I'm not an assassin for hire. I'm not asking you to kill for me. I'm asking you to help me dismantle the corruption in the coalition from the inside. The same corruption that allows packs to reject and exile their own children. Help me burn that system down. Luna stared at him, searching for the lie. She found none. Why would I trust you? You shouldn't, Dominic said bluntly. Trust is earned. But I'm offering you something no one else can. Protection, resources, and a chance to make them all pay for what they did to you. Starting with your father. Luna's hand tightened on the counter. My father is none of your business. Crescent Moonpack has been operating illegal fight rings, forcing rejected wolves to compete in death matches for entertainment. Your father is the primary organizer. I've been trying to get evidence to shut him down for 2 years. You could walk in there and tear his operation apart from the inside. The rage that Luna had kept locked away for 8 years surged up, hot and vicious. You want me to go back? I want you to have closure and justice. The scarred guard cleared his throat. Sir, this is highly irregular. Shut up, Marcus, Dominic said, never taking his eyes off Luna. Miss Graves, I'm sending you coordinates to a neutral meeting location, tomorrow night. Come alone, and I'll come alone. We'll talk. No tricks, no ambush. If you decide you're not interested, you walk away, and I call off the search for you. You get a clean slate. And if I don't show up? Then I'll assume you're not ready, and we'll revisit this conversation in 6 months. Dominic smiled, and it was devastating. But you'll show up, Luna. Because you want what I'm offering. You want revenge. The call ended. Luna stood in the silent coffee shop, her heart pounding. The 2 guards were watching her warily. The coordinates are on the tablet, Marcus said. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Don't be late. The king doesn't like to be kept waiting. They left. Luna waited until she heard their SUV pull away before she allowed herself to collapse against the counter, her hands shaking. Dominic Ashford wanted to meet her, the Alpha King himself. And the worst part? He was right. She did want revenge. She looked at the tablet. The coordinates pointed to a location in the Cascade Mountains, 2 hours outside Seattle. Neutral territory. Luna had survived 8 years on her own by being smart, careful, and paranoid. Going to this meeting violated all 3 principles. But the thought of seeing her father's empire burn? God damn it, Luna whispered. She was going. The coordinates led to an abandoned ski lodge nestled in a valley between 2 snow-capped peaks. Luna arrived 2 hours early, parking her beat-up Honda a mile down the service road and approaching on foot. The sun was setting, painting the mountains in shades of orange and purple. The lodge itself was massive, a timber and stone structure that had clearly been luxury accommodation before. Whatever disaster shut it down. Now it was a skeleton, windows dark, roof partially collapsed. Perfect place for an ambush. Luna circled the perimeter 3 times, checking for guards, cameras, traps. She found none. Either Dominic was telling the truth about coming alone, or his people were better at hiding than she was at finding. She entered through a side door, her knife in hand, every sense on high alert. The interior was a mess of broken furniture and graffiti. Moonlight streamed through the damaged roof, illuminating floating dust particles. The main lobby had a massive stone fireplace, and sitting in a leather chair in front of it, silhouetted by a small, crackling fire, was Dominic Ashford. He stood as she entered, and Luna's breath caught. In person, he was even more overwhelming. He wore dark jeans and a black Henley that clung to a body built for violence. His presence filled the room, an almost physical weight of dominance that made Luna's non-existent wolf want to bear, her throat in submission. She crushed that instinct ruthlessly. "You came," Dominic said, his voice warm with approval. "You have 5 minutes," Luna replied, staying near the door. "Talk." Dominic gestured to a chair across from his. "Sit?" "I'll stand." "Suit yourself." He settled back into his chair, utterly relaxed. "I've spent the past 2 days reading everything I could find about you, Luna Graves. It's a fascinating file, full of gaps and contradictions. Occupational hazard. You were rejected at 16 for failure to shift. Most rejected wolves die within the first year. Exposure, starvation, or violence from rogues. You not only survived, you thrived. You taught yourself combat, weapons, tactics. You became a ghost. And in 8 years, you've killed 17 wolves, all of them in self-defense, all of them pack members or enforcers who tried to capture or kill you. Is there a question in there somewhere? Dominic leaned forward, his gray eyes intense. How is a wolf who can't shift capable of killing trained warriors? "I never said I couldn't shift," Luna said quietly. Dominic went very still. "Explain." Luna hesitated. This was the secret she had kept for 8 years, the truth that would either save her or doom her. "My pack rejected me because I failed to shift by 16, she said slowly. "What they didn't know, what I didn't know, was that I wasn't defective. I was just different. I shifted for the first time the night they exiled me. I was dying of hypothermia in a snowbank 20 miles from pack territory when it finally happened." "What did you shift into?" Luna smiled, sharp and cold. "Not a wolf, Your Majesty. Something else entirely." She let the change take her. It wasn't like a wolf shift. No cracking bones, no painful elongation. It was fluid, almost liquid. Her body seemed to shimmer, the edges blurring like heat distortion. And then she was changing. Her skin darkened to midnight black, her body compressed, becoming sleek and muscular. Her face elongated into a feline muzzle, ears flicking upright. Her eyes, which had been brown, now glowed a brilliant gold. When the shift completed, Luna stood before Dominic as a black panther, easily 200 pounds of predatory grace. A melanistic jaguar. Dominic stared, his mouth actually falling open in shock. That's impossible. Werewolves shift into wolves. It's in the name. We can't." Luna shifted back, the change just as smooth. She stood before him in human form, slightly breathless from the energy expenditure. "Apparently we can," she said. "Or at least, I can. I don't know if I'm a mutation, an evolutionary divergence, or just a freak of nature. But I'm not a wolf. I never was. And because the shift doesn't match what the pack expected, their magic didn't recognize it. As far as their rituals were concerned, I was human, broken, defective." Dominic stood slowly, approaching her with careful, measured steps. "Do you know what you are?" "A reject. No." He stopped 3 feet away, close enough that Luna could feel the heat radiating off his body. "You're a first shift. The old stories talk about them. The original shifters, before we became wolf-specific. They could take any form, adapt to any environment. The bloodline was supposed to be extinct. Well, surprise, it's not." Dominic's eyes were glowing now, that eerie amber gold that signaled his wolf was present. "Do you understand what this means? If the Coalition finds out you exist, every alpha in North America will either want to study you, breed you, or kill you to prevent your genetics from spreading. Which is why I've kept it secret," Luna said flatly. "And why I shouldn't have shown you." "Why did you?" Luna met his gaze directly. "Because you asked. And because I'm tired of hiding." The air between them crackled with tension. Dominic took another step closer, and Luna's body betrayed her. Her heartbeat accelerated. her pupils dilated, her skin flushed with heat. "There's something else," Dominic said, his voice dropping to a near growl. "Something I felt the moment I saw you on that video call. My wolf recognized you, Luna. He's been clawing at my mind for 2 days, demanding I find you, claim you, protect you." "Claim me?" Luna's voice was sharp. "I'm not a piece of property." "That's not what Dominic ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident. "The mate bond. Do you feel it?" Luna wanted to lie. She wanted to deny the pull she felt toward this man, this alpha king who represented everything she hated about pack hierarchy. But she had never been good at lying to herself. "Yes," she whispered. "I feel it, and I hate it." Dominic's expression softened. "Because of what they did to you." "Because it's biology trying to override my choices. Because it makes me vulnerable. Because—" her voice cracked. "Because the last person who claimed to want me, who said I was his mate, rejected me the moment I became inconvenient. I am not Caden." Luna's head snapped up. "How do you know about—" "I told you. I read your file. Every detail. I know your ex-boyfriend chose your sister the moment the pack rejected you. I know he's now Beta of Crescent Moon, mated to Sarah, living the life that should have been yours. And I know—" Dominic's jaw clenched. "I know he sent a message through back channels 6 months ago, offering a substantial reward for information about your whereabouts. He's hunting you, Luna. Your whole pack is." The room spun. Luna's knees buckled, but Dominic caught her, his hands warm and solid on her arms. "Why?" she gasped. "Why would they—" "Because you're proof," Dominic said gently. "Proof that their rejection was wrong, that their entire hierarchy is flawed. If word gets out that the broken Omega they exiled is actually a first shift, one of the rarest and most powerful forms in our history, it destroys their authority. Your father's position as Alpha would be questioned. Caden's, claimed to be the strongest heir, would be laughable. So they need you gone. Permanently." Luna pulled away from him, wrapping her arms around herself. "Then why are you telling me this? Why not just hand me over and collect whatever bounty they're offering?" "Because—" Dominic moved in front of her, tilting her chin up so she had to meet his eyes. "Because you are my mate, Luna Graves. And I don't give a damn about pack politics or coalition alliances or ancient bloodlines. My wolf has chosen you, and I will burn down every pack in this territory before I let them touch you." The declaration hung in the air between them, raw and absolute. Luna searched his face, looking for the lie, the manipulation, the inevitable betrayal. She found only fierce, burning sincerity. "I can't," she whispered. "I can't be what you need. A Luna, a queen, "I need a partner," Dominic interrupted. "Someone who understands that power isn't about domination. It's about protecting those who can't protect themselves. Someone who's been to hell and came back sharper, stronger. Someone who looks at the system and wants to tear it down and rebuild it right." He took her hands, and the contact sent electricity racing up her arms. "I need you," he said simply. Luna's walls, 8 years in the building, cracked. "I've killed people," she said, needing him to understand. "I'm not a good person, Dominic. I'm angry. I'm violent. I'm perfect," he finished. "You're absolutely perfect. And anyone who tried to convince you otherwise was a fool." Then he kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was fierce, claiming. A collision of heat and need and 8 years of loneliness crashing together. Luna gasped against his mouth, and he swallowed the sound, his hands tangling in her hair, pulling her closer. She should push him away. She should run. Instead, she kissed him back with equal ferocity, her hands fisting in his shirt, years of touch starvation making her desperate and reckless. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dominic pressed his forehead to hers. "Stay with me," he said. "Let me protect you. Let me help you destroy everyone who hurt you. And when it's done, when you've had your revenge and your closure, Decide if you want this. Want us. But give us a chance. Luna closed her eyes, feeling the tears she'd been holding back finally escape. Okay, she breathed. Okay. Outside, hidden in the tree line, 3 figures watched through sniper scopes. Target acquired, one whispered into a radio. The king is with her, but we have a clean shot. Take it. A familiar voice responded over the radio. Kill the Omega. I don't care if you have to go through Ashford to do it. The voice belonged to Caden. The first sniper lined up his shot, finger tightening on the trigger. Luna's panther senses screamed a warning. She shoved Dominic aside, just as the window exploded in a hail of gunfire. The bullets tore through the space where they'd been standing, silver-tipped, rounds that would have been fatal to either of them. Luna and Dominic hit the floor hard, rolling behind the massive stone fireplace as more shots hammered into the lodge. Snipers! Dominic snarled, his eyes blazing gold. Multiple positions, coordinated fire. This was a setup. Not by you? Luna asked, already knowing the answer. No. His voice was pure alpha command now, deadly and cold. Someone knew we'd be here. Someone leaked the location. Luna's mind raced. Your guards. The ones who came to the coffee shop. They knew. Marcus has been with me for 10 years. He's loyal. People change when the price is right. Luna crawled to the shattered window, risking a quick glance outside. 3 muzzle flashes in the tree line, triangulated positions. Professional work. 3 shooters, maybe 4. Silver ammunition, which means they're here for both of us. Dominic's phone buzzed. He pulled it out and his face went deadly still as he read the message. What? Luna demanded. He turned the phone so she could see. The message was from an unknown number. The Coalition Council has voted. Dominic Ashford is charged with treason for harboring a known rogue. Surrender the Graves girl, and you may keep your title. Refuse, and you are both dead by sunrise. You have 1 hour to decide. Treason, Luna breathed. They're accusing you of treason because of me. The Coalition Council is corrupt, Dominic spat. Half of them are in your father's pocket, profiting from his fight rings. This isn't about law, it's about control. Another barrage of gunfire forced them lower. The stone fireplace cracked under the assault. We can't stay here, Luna said. They're using armor-piercing rounds now. That fireplace won't hold much longer. Dominic looked at her, and something shifted in his expression. Can you shift and run? Get out of here while I draw their fire. Absolutely not. Luna, no. She grabbed his shirt, pulling him close. I've spent 8 years running and hiding. I'm done. We fight or we die together. Your choice. Dominic stared at her for a long moment, then a savage grin crossed his face. God, you're magnificent. Okay, we fight. But we need to even the odds. He pulled out his phone again, typing rapidly. What are you doing? Calling in my real, loyal guards, the ones I actually trust. He sent the message. ETA 15 minutes. We'll be dead in 5. Then we buy time. Dominic shed his shirt in one smooth motion. How fast can you shift? Faster than you. Prove it. Luna didn't need to be told twice. She let the change ripple through her, her body compressing and reshaping into the sleek black panther. She was smaller in this form, more agile, built for speed and stealth rather than raw power. Dominic's shift was more violent. His bones cracked and reformed with audible snaps. His body expanding into a massive gray wolf, easily the size of a small horse. His eyes glowed like molten gold, and when he snarled, the sound shook the remaining windows. They communicated without words, a benefit of the mate bond. Luna could feel his thoughts brushing against hers, battle tactics forming in real time. I'll draw their fire, you flank. You'll get killed. I heal faster than you. Trust me. Luna didn't like it, but he was right. She pressed her feline head against his wolf muzzle briefly. a gesture of trust and affection, then darted toward the back of the lodge. Dominic exploded through the front door, with a roar that could have woken the dead. The snipers immediately focused on him. 3 muzzle flashes lit up the tree line, and Dominic juked left, his massive wolf form moving with impossible speed. One bullet grazed his shoulder, drawing blood, but he ignored it. He charged straight at the nearest sniper position. Meanwhile, Luna melted into the shadows, her black coat making her virtually invisible in the darkness. She circled wide, using the terrain, moving with the silent grace of an apex predator. She found the first sniper perched in a tree, his scope trained on Dominic's position. He never heard her coming. Luna launched herself up the tree with her powerful hind legs, jaws closing around the man's throat before he could scream. She didn't kill him. Cleanly, she wanted information. She clamped down just hard enough to incapacitate, then dragged him from the tree. He hit the ground with a wet thud, gasping, blood soaking his tactical vest. Luna shifted back to human, kneeling on his chest, her hand around his throat. "Who sent you?" she demanded. The man's eyes widened. He was young, maybe 25, and terrified. I can't." "You're dead anyway," Luna said flatly. "Silver poisoning from my saliva is already in your bloodstream. You have maybe 5 minutes before paralysis sets in. Talk, and I'll give you the antidote. Stay silent, and I watch you suffocate." It was a complete lie. Panther shifters didn't have venom, but he didn't know that. "Caden!" the man gasped. "Caden Sterling hired us. He said you were a rogue, that there was a bounty, 20,000 per head, yours and the king's." Luna's vision went red. Sterling. Caden's last name is Graves. He changed it, married into the Sterling Pack 6 months ago. He's Alpha now. The Crescent Moon Pack doesn't exist anymore. It was absorbed into Sterling territory. The world tilted. Her father's pack was gone. And Caden, her ex-boyfriend, the man who had betrayed her, was now a rival Alpha. "Where is he?" Luna's voice was deadly calm. "I don't know, I swear. We were hired through intermediaries. The money was good, the intel was solid. We didn't ask questions." A howl split the night. Dominic's wolf, victorious and furious. He had taken down the other 2 snipers. Luna stood, leaving the mercenary gasping on the ground. She shifted back into panther form and loped toward Dominic's position. She found him standing over 2 bodies, both in wolf form, both dead. His muzzle was stained with blood, his shoulder wound already healing. When he saw her, he shifted back to human, unconcerned with his nudity. "Are you hurt?" His hands immediately went to her, checking for injuries. Luna shifted back, equally unconcerned about being naked in the forest. "I'm fine, but we have a problem. Caden hired them. He's Alpha of the Sterling Pack now." Dominic's expression went nuclear. "Sterling, of course. Victor Sterling has been trying to undermine my authority for years. If his new son-in-law can kill me and claim it was justice for harboring a rogue, Victor becomes the strongest Alpha in the coalition." "This is my fault," Luna said, the guilt crushing. "If I hadn't come here, if I'd just stayed hidden." "No." Dominic grabbed her shoulders, forcing her to meet his eyes. "This is not your fault. This is politics and greed and corruption, and we're going to end it." "How? We're fugitives now. The whole coalition is hunting us." Dominic smiled, and it was terrifying. "Not the whole coalition. I still have allies. Packs who are tired of the old guard's corruption. And now I have proof that the council is willing to kill their own king to maintain power. That changes everything." The sound of helicopters approached from the south. Dominic's phone buzzed. "That's my people," he said, checking the message. "We need to move. There's a safe house 3 hours from here. We regroup, gather our allies, and then—" He looked at Luna, his gray eyes burning with purpose. "Then we go to war." Luna should have been terrified. She should have run. Instead, She felt alive for the first time in 8 years. "War," she agreed. "But I have one condition." "Name it." "When we take down the Sterling Pack, when we dismantle Caden's little empire," Luna's smile was pure predator, "he's mine. I want to look him in the eyes when I destroy everything he loves. Just like he did to me." Dominic pulled her against him, fierce and possessive. "He's yours. I'll deliver him gift-wrapped." The helicopters landed in a nearby clearing, and armed guards poured out. But these weren't the royal guards who had tried to capture Luna. These were different, marked with a silver wolf insignia she didn't recognize. "Who are they?" she asked. "The Silver Fangs, my personal guard, the ones I actually trust." Dominic pulled on pants and a shirt someone handed him, then offered Luna a jacket. "They answer only to me, and they've been investigating coalition corruption for years. You'll be safe with them." A woman approached, tall and deadly, with white blonde hair and ice-blue eyes. She looked at Luna with open curiosity. "So this is the Omega who killed 7 royal guards," the woman said, her voice carrying an Eastern European accent. "I'm impressed." "Luna, this is Katya," Dominic introduced, "head of the Silver Fangs and my most trusted operative." Katya extended a hand, and Luna shook it, noting the woman's grip was iron strong. "Any enemy of the coalition is a friend of mine," Katya said. "Besides, I've wanted to take down Victor Sterling for years. He killed my brother. Now I have an excuse." "We need to move," Dominic said. "Sterling will have more mercenaries in the area. We need to get to the safe house." Before, an explosion rocked the valley. The ski lodge, their meeting place, erupted in a massive fireball that lit up the night sky. "Remote detonation," Katya said grimly. "They were going to blow it anyway. Make sure there were no survivors." Dominic's jaw clenched. "They just declared war. Let's give them one." They boarded the helicopters and lifted off into the night. As Luna watched the burning lodge recede behind them, she felt something shift inside her. For 8 years, she had been running, hiding, surviving. No more. Now she was going to fight. And God help anyone who stood in her way. The safe house was a fortress disguised as a luxury mountain cabin. Perched on a cliff overlooking the Columbia River, it was equipped with military-grade security, reinforced walls, and enough weapons to outfit a small army. Luna stood on the balcony, wrapped in a blanket, watching the sunrise paint the mountains in shades of gold and crimson. Behind her, she could hear Dominic, coordinating with Katya and his other operatives, making calls to allied packs, gathering intelligence on Sterling's movements. She should be inside, planning, strategizing. Instead, she was frozen, her mind replaying the moment the sniper had nearly killed her. Killed Dominic. "You're thinking too much." Luna turned to find Katya standing in the doorway, 2 mugs of coffee in her hands. She offered one to Luna, who took it gratefully. "I'm thinking just enough," Luna said. Katya leaned against the railing, studying her. "The king told me your story, what they did to you. He talks too much." "He cares too much," Katya corrected. "I've known Dominic for 15 years. I've never seen him like this. Protective, yes. Possessive, definitely. But vulnerable? Never. You've gotten under his skin." "I didn't mean to." "The best things never are intentional." Katya sipped her coffee. "You know he's going to ask you to be his Luna, his queen." Luna's hands tightened around the mug. "I can't. I don't know how to be what he needs." "What he needs," Katya said firmly, "is someone who will stand beside him and call him on his shit. Someone who understands that leadership isn't about power, it's about responsibility. Someone who's been broken and put herself back together. That's you, Luna." "I'm a killer." "So am I. So is he. So is everyone in this building." Katya's ice-blue eyes were kind. "The difference is why we kill. I kill to protect those who can't protect themselves." Dominic kills to maintain order and prevent greater violence. You kill to survive. None of us are monsters. We're just wolves trying to make a better world. Luna wanted to believe that. She wanted to believe she could be more than the broken, rejected girl her father had thrown away. "What if I fail him?" she whispered. "What if you don't?" Katya countered. "What if you're exactly what this fucked-up world needs? A queen who understands what it's like to be powerless, who will fight for the rejects, the exiles, the ones the system failed." Before Luna could respond, Dominic appeared in the doorway. "We have a situation," he said, his face grim. They reconvened in the war room, a converted basement lined with screens and tactical maps. Dominic pulled up a video on the main monitor. It showed Caden Sterling standing in front of a podium, dozens of cameras pointed at him. He wore an expensive suit and the confident smile of a man who thought he'd already won. "Turn it up," Luna said, her voice steady despite the rage building in her chest. Caden's voice filled the room. "Confirming reports that Alpha King Dominic Ashford has been harboring a dangerous rogue, Luna Graves, who is wanted in connection with multiple murders across 7 states. The Coalition Council has voted unanimously to strip Ashford of his title and authority. As of this moment, I am assuming temporary leadership of the North American Coalition until a proper trial can be held." "Bullshit," Katya spat. Caden continued. "We are offering a substantial reward for information leading to the capture of both Ashford and Graves. They are considered armed and extremely dangerous. If you see them, do not engage. Contact Coalition authorities immediately." The video ended. Dominic was eerily calm, the kind of calm that preceded explosive violence. "He's making a play for the throne," he said quietly. "Victor Sterling has been grooming Caden for this. They leaked our meeting location, sent the mercenaries, and now they're using the failed assassination as proof that I'm unstable." "Can they actually do this?" Luna asked. "Just vote you out?" "Technically, yes, if the majority of the council agrees, and the charge is treason. But the vote has to be unanimous, and I have allies on the council who would never agree to this. Unless—" Dominic's eyes widened. "Unless Sterling has compromised them. Blackmail, bribery, or they're already dead," Katya finished grimly. She pulled up a secondary screen showing news reports. "Look, 3 council members have been reported as missing in the past 48 hours. 2 more died in accidents." Luna felt sick. "He's killing anyone who might oppose him." "And framing it as random chance," Dominic said. "Brilliant, if utterly psychotic. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, he'll control the council and the coalition." "So what do we do?" Luna demanded. "We can't fight the entire coalition." "We don't have to," Dominic said, a dangerous gleam in his eyes. "We just need to cut off the head of the snake. If we can prove Sterling is behind the assassinations, that he orchestrated this coup, the council will turn on him. Coalition law is clear. Any alpha who murders council members forfeits his right to leadership and his life." "Proving it is going to be difficult," Katya said. "Sterling is careful. He doesn't get his hands dirty." "But Caden does," Luna said slowly. "Caden is impulsive, arrogant. He thinks he's untouchable now. If we can get him to brag, to confess—" Dominic looked at her sharply. "What are you thinking?" Luna met his gaze. "I'm thinking Caden has wanted me dead for 8 years, and now he thinks he's finally going to get his wish. What if we give him the opportunity? Let him think he's won?" "Absolutely not," Dominic said immediately. "You're not using yourself as bait." "It's the only way. Caden won't trust anyone else. But me? He'll want to gloat. He'll want to tell me everything I missed, everything I lost. And while he's monologuing like a bad villain, we record every word." "And if something goes wrong? If he decides to kill you on sight instead of talking?" Luna smiled, cold and sharp. "Then I'll kill him first. I'm very good at that. Dominic looked like he wanted to argue, but Katya interrupted. She's right, Katya said. It's risky, but it's our best shot. Besides, Luna's not helpless. She's a first shift. Caden has no idea what she's capable of now. Dominic ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident. I don't like it. You don't have to like it, Luna said gently. She crossed to him, placing her hands on his chest. You just have to trust me. I've survived 8 years on my own, Dominic. I can handle Caden. He covered her hands with his gray eyes searching hers. If anything happens to you, it won't, because you'll be right there, won't you? Hidden, waiting to tear him apart if he tries anything. Dominic's expression softened. He pulled her close, burying his face in her hair. I can't lose you. Not now. Not when I just found you. You won't, Luna promised. But we need to end this. For both of us. For everyone the coalition has hurt. He pulled back, looking down at her with an intensity that stole her breath. When this is over, he said quietly, when we've won and the coalition is ours, I'm going to ask you properly. I'm going to get down on one knee and offer you everything I have, everything I am. And I'm going to beg you to be my queen. Luna's throat tightened with emotion. And what if I say no? Then I'll ask again tomorrow. And the day after. Every day until you say yes. He cupped her face in his hands. Because you are my mate, Luna Graves. And I don't care about biology or destiny or any of that. I choose you. Every time, I choose you. She kissed him then, pouring 8 years of loneliness and fear and desperate hope into it. When they broke apart, she was crying. I choose you too, she whispered. Katya cleared her throat from across the room. As touching as this is, we have a psychotic alpha to trap. Can we maybe save the romance for after the death-defying mission? They spent the next 6 hours planning every detail. Katya would reach out to Caden through back channels, offering to sell out Luna's location in exchange for a substantial reward. The meeting would take place at neutral ground, an abandoned warehouse in Portland that Dominic's people controlled, wired with cameras and microphones. Luna would go in alone. Dominic and the Silverfangs would be positioned outside, ready to intervene if things went wrong. It was a solid plan. It was also incredibly dangerous. But it was their only shot. The warehouse smelled like rust and old concrete. Luna stood in the center of the massive space, illuminated by a single hanging work light. She wore tactical gear provided by Katya, reinforced clothing that could withstand a shift, hidden cameras woven into the fabric, and a knife strapped to her thigh. She looked like prey. She was a predator. Footsteps echoed through the space. Luna's enhanced hearing caught them long before a normal wolf would have. 6 sets of footsteps, all heavy, all armed. The door at the far end opened, and Caden Sterling walked in. He looked good, frustratingly good. Time had been kind to him. He was taller than she remembered, broader, his dark hair styled perfectly, his suit tailored to emphasize his build. He looked like money and power and success. He looked like everything Luna had lost. Luna Graves, Caden said, his voice carrying that same charming tone she had once loved. After all these years, here you are, still alive. I have to admit, I'm impressed. Luna said nothing, just watched him approach with 5 armed guards flanking him. You're probably wondering why I wanted to meet in person, Caden continued, circling her like a shark. I could have just had Katya deliver you in a cage, but I wanted to see you. To look into your eyes and see if there was anything left of the girl I used to know. The girl you betrayed, Luna said flatly. Caden laughed. Betrayed? Luna, I saved myself. You were a liability, a broken wolf with no future. What was I supposed to do? Throw away my destiny to be with you? You said you loved me. I said a lot of things. Caden stopped in front of her. Love is a weakness, Luna. Something I learned from watching you. You loved your pack, and they destroyed you. You loved me, and I left you. Love makes you vulnerable. And power makes you cruel, Luna countered. Power makes me effective. Caden gestured around the warehouse. Look at what I've built. I'm the alpha of the Sterling Pack. I'm about to control the coalition. I have everything. And you? You're a fugitive with a death warrant. Actually, Luna said, I have something you want. Information. Caden raised an eyebrow. Oh? I know where the evidence is. The proof that you and Victor Sterling orchestrated the council assassinations. The financial records, the communications, everything. Dominic hid it before he went underground. It was a complete lie, but Caden's eyes flashed with hunger. And you're willing to trade this information for what? Your life? For my freedom. You let me walk away, no pursuit, no bounty, and I tell you where Dominic hid the evidence. You destroy it, secure your position, and I disappear. Everyone wins. Caden studied her, then smiled. You're lying. Dominic would never tell you where something that important was hidden. You were just a convenient fuck for him, a novelty, the broken Omega who can't shift. I can shift, Luna said quietly. Into what? A chihuahua? Caden laughed, cruel and mocking. Into something better than you, Luna said. Into something the council fears. Why do you think Dominic kept me? Why do you think he's willing to go to war for me? Caden's smile faded. You're bluffing. Am I? Luna let her eyes shift, the gold bleeding through the brown. I'm a first shift, Caden. The bloodline your pack claims is extinct. And when the coalition finds out I exist, that I'm bonded to Dominic, your claim to power evaporates. Because no one will follow you when they know the true Alpha King has a first shift mate. Caden's face went pale, then red with rage. You're lying. First shifts don't exist. And rejected Omegas don't survive 8 years as rogues. Yet here I am. Caden moved faster than she expected, grabbing her throat and slamming her against a support beam. You think you're clever? You think you can threaten me? Luna didn't struggle. She smiled. I think I already have. Because you just confirmed everything on camera. The assassinations, your partnership with Victor, your plan to control the coalition through murder and manipulation. Caden's eyes widened. He looked down at Luna's jacket, at the nearly invisible camera lens woven into the fabric. No, he breathed. Yes, Luna said, and it's broadcasting live to every council member still alive. Congratulations, Caden. You just destroyed yourself. Caden roared, his hand tightening around her throat. Luna's vision started to gray, but she didn't panic, because she could hear the warehouse doors exploding inward, could hear Dominic's wolf roar, could hear the silver fangs engaging Caden's guards. Caden threw her aside, reaching for the gun at his hip. Luna shifted midair, her body compressing into the sleek Black Panther. She landed, on all fours, snarling. Caden stared, the gun forgotten in his hand. Impossible, he whispered. Luna launched herself at him, jaws aimed for his throat. He shifted at the last second, becoming a large brown wolf. They collided in midair, a snarling, snapping mass of fur and fury. Luna was smaller, but she was faster, more agile. She twisted, raking her claws across Caden's flank, drawing blood. He yelped and bit at her, his teeth closing on her shoulder. Pain exploded through her, but Luna used the momentum to roll, to get her hind legs under Caden's belly and kick with all her strength. He flew backward, slamming into a concrete pillar. Before he could recover, a massive gray wolf appeared, Dominic in his shifted form, placing himself between Luna and Caden. Dominic's wolf was twice Caden's size, radiating authority and rage. He didn't attack immediately. He just stood there, a living wall of muscle and teeth, daring Caden to try something. Caden, bloodied and beaten, shifted back to human. He was naked, trembling, his eyes wide with fear. "Dominic," Caden gasped. "This is a misunderstanding. I was following orders. Victor Sterling forced me." "Save it," Dominic said, shifting back to human as well. He was magnificent in his rage, every inch the Alpha King. "I have your confession on record. The council has already voted. You're stripped of your title, your pack, and your life." "You can't kill me!" Caden screamed. "Coalition law requires a trial." "Coalition law also allows for immediate execution in cases of treason," Luna said, limping forward, still in panther form. She shifted back to human, unconcerned with her nudity, blood dripping from her shoulder. "And you just admitted to assassinating council members. That's treason." Caden looked between them, desperate. "Luna, please. We were together once. You loved me. Show me mercy." Luna walked right up to him, looking down at the man who had destroyed her life. "You're right," she said softly. "I did love you, and you taught me a valuable lesson." "What's that?" Luna's hand shot out, grabbing the knife from Katya's belt and pressing it to Caden's throat. "That mercy is for people who deserve it," she said. "And you don't." She looked at Dominic. "He's yours. Coalition law says the Alpha King executes traitors." Dominic approached, his gray eyes hard. "Actually, I'm delegating this authority. Luna, as my acknowledged mate and future queen, you have the right to pass judgment on those who've wronged you. What's your verdict?" Luna looked at Caden, at the fear in his eyes, and felt nothing. No satisfaction, no anger, just cold, crystalline clarity. "I could kill you," she said. "Slit your throat right here. But that would be too easy, too quick." She lowered the knife. "Instead, I'm giving you the same mercy you showed me. You're rejected, Caden Sterling. Rejected as Alpha, as pack member, as Wolf. You're exiled from Coalition territory. If you return, you'll be killed on sight. Now run, little broken thing. Run and pray the rogues find you before the cold does." Caden stared at her, the words, his words from 8 years ago, hitting him like physical blows. "You can't." "I just did," Luna said. "Guards, escort this exile to the territory boundary. Make sure he doesn't come back." The silver fangs grabbed Caden, dragging him away. His screams echoed through the warehouse. When they were gone, Luna finally allowed herself to collapse. Dominic caught her, lowering her gently to the ground. "You're hurt," he said, examining her shoulder. "I'm alive," Luna corrected. She looked up at him, suddenly exhausted. "Is it over?" "Almost," Dominic said. "Victor Sterling still needs to be dealt with, but the council has already moved against him. By tomorrow, he'll be in custody or dead." "Good." Dominic helped her stand, wrapping his jacket around her shoulders. "You were incredible. Terrifying and incredible." "I learned from the best," Luna said, leaning into him. "Luna," Dominic said, his voice suddenly serious. "I know I said I'd wait until this was over, but I can't. Not anymore." He sank to one knee, right there in the dirty warehouse, surrounded by his guards and Katya's amused expression. "Luna Graves," he said, taking her hand. "You are the strongest, fiercest, most extraordinary woman I've ever met. You've been rejected, exiled, and hunted, and you survived it all. You made yourself into something no one expected, something beautiful and deadly. And I love you. Not because of a mate bond or biology or destiny. I love you because you make me want to be better, to build a better world. Will you stand beside me? Will you be my queen, my partner, my mate? Will you help me tear down the old, corrupt system and build something new?" Luna looked down at him, at this powerful Alpha King kneeling in front of her, offering her everything. She thought about the girl she used to be, broken and rejected and alone. She thought about the woman she had become, strong and fierce and free. And she thought about the future they could build together. "Yes," she said, pulling him to his feet. "Yes, I'll be your queen. But only if you promise me one thing." "Anything." "No more secrets. No more politics or games. We face everything together, as equals." Dominic smiled, bright and genuine. "As equals," he agreed. Then he kissed her, and the silver fangs cheered, and for the first time in 8 years, Luna felt like she was home. 6 months later, Luna stood on a platform in front of the entire Coalition Council, wearing a dress of midnight black that seemed to absorb the light. Around her neck was a collar of silver and moonstone, the mark of the Alpha Queen. Beside her, Dominic wore his ceremonial robes, looking every inch the king. The coronation had been broadcast across every pack in North America. Luna had insisted on it. She wanted everyone to see what a broken Omega could become. When she spoke, her voice carried through the massive hall. "I was rejected at 16, she said, not shying away from her past. "I was told I was defective, worthless, a genetic mistake. My own pack threw me away like garbage. And for 8 years, I believed them. I thought I was broken." She paused, looking out at the sea of faces. "But I wasn't broken. I was just different. And difference isn't weakness. It's strength. It's evolution. It's the future." She gestured to the crowd. "How many of you have rejected pack members? Children who didn't shift on time, or who shifted into the wrong form. Omegas who were deemed too weak. Wolves who didn't fit your perfect genetic standards." Uncomfortable silence filled the hall. "I'm here to tell you that those old standards are over," Luna declared. "As your queen, my first decree is this. Rejection based on shift status or rank is now illegal throughout Coalition territory. Every wolf, regardless of their form or strength, has value, has worth. And if your pack can't see that, you don't deserve to be alpha." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, some approving, some shocked. Dominic stepped forward, his voice carrying. "This is not a request, it's law. Any pack that violates this decree will answer to me personally. The Coalition is changing. Either change with it or step aside." Later that night, after the ceremony and the celebrations, Luna and Dominic stood on the balcony of their new home, a penthouse in Seattle that overlooked the entire city. "Do you think they'll accept it?" Luna asked, leaning against the railing. "The decree? Some will, some won't." Dominic wrapped his arms around her from behind, pulling her against his chest. "But we'll make them. One pack at a time, one law at a time, we'll drag this world into the future." Luna turned in his arms, looking up at him. "I never thought I'd be here. Never thought I'd be queen." "I never thought I'd find someone who made me want to burn down the entire system just to rebuild it right," Dominic countered. "Guess we're both full of surprises." She kissed him, soft and sweet, a promise of all the tomorrows they'd have together. When they broke apart, Luna smiled. "So, Alpha King, what's our next move?" Dominic grinned, dangerous and delighted. "We find every rejected wolf in North America, every exile, every broken shifter the old system threw away. And we offer them a choice. Join us and help build something better, or watch as we tear down everyone who hurt them." "I like the sound of that," Luna said. "I thought you might." And so they stood together, the Alpha King and his Omega Queen, looking out at their kingdom and dreaming of revolution. The girl who was told she was too weak to keep had become the woman strong enough to change everything. And anyone who tried to stop her would learn exactly why you should never underestimate a panther who's learned to hunt. So what do you think? Was Caden's exile enough, or should Luna have ended him? Do you think the Coalition will accept their new laws, or is there a bigger war coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you proved my mom wrong by subscribing, thank you. You're the real pack. Part 2 is coming soon, where we dive into Luna's mission to find and recruit the other rejected wolves. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Like this video if you want to see Luna build her own army of misfits and take on the old guard. Subscribe if you believe broken things can become beautiful. See you in the next one, Pack. Stay fierce.